Welcome viewers to our next Literary Fest 2022 event, One Up. This event will help us, the young students, to enter into a different domain of interviewing people. Through this event, we are going to introduce our young students as interviewers and tomorrow's anchors. The aim is to improve communication, thinking and questioning skills, to create awareness about events and people. Objective, to instill confidence, to learn the art of questioning, to be fluent. Thank you. Hope you enjoy and share your likes. Anu.
Hello everyone, my name is Theatrishan. I am from Sara Vidyalaya Senior Secondary School 6B. I am going to interview my mother who is also a dentist. Hello doctor.
Hi Tishan.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay, I am Dr. Lakshmi Priya, proprietor of Tishan Dental Clinic.
Okay. As I like dentistry, can I ask you some questions?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, let's start with what is dentistry?
Okay. Dentistry is a branch of science which is concerned with the teeth and the mouth of the human body. So we take care of the teeth and its adjacent structure.
I always had a doubt that some kids have pure white teeth and others have large yellow teeth. Why is it so?
Yes, humans have two sets of teeth. One is milk teeth, or in our term we will say it is deciduous teeth. Another one is permanent teeth. Milk teeth will erupt from 6 months to 13 years. The permanent teeth will erupt from 6 years and it will be in our mouth for our rest of our life. Okay. The milk teeth is white in color because of the thinner enamel. The permanent teeth is yellowish white in color because of the enamel is very thicker in the permanent teeth. And we also have another one that is between 6 to 12 years. We have both milk teeth and also on the permanent teeth. We call that stage as a mixed dentition period.
Oh, so now I understand that I am in the mixed dentition period.
Yes, absolutely. You got the answer. Okay.
And the next question is, what are the parts of the teeth? Can you please explain?
Yes, I can say you. So this is a tooth. This is crown and this is tooth. In the crown we have three layers. This enamel, dentin and pulp. Enamel is the outermost layer of the tooth and it is the hardest structures of the human body. You have studied in your third standard. You remember?
Yes.
Okay. Then dentin is the second part, that is next to the enamel. And the innermost part is pulp. You can see here. So this is the pulp. So in this pulp there is blood vessels and the nerves. This gives life to the tooth. Okay. That is why if you have decay in your mouth, when it reaches the pulp only, you will feel pain. When it is in the upper layer, enamel, dentin, you won't have any pain. So as soon as you got the black spot or you notice any cavities in your mouth, you just go immediately to the nearby dentist. This will help you very much.
Okay, thanks. Wow, what a surprising fact. Such a small teeth contain many parts. Now, what is the most important take-home message from this interview?
Okay. Three things you have to follow. You should brush your teeth twice a day, properly, carefully and regularly. Okay. Second one is you should gargle your mouth after you have anything. And third one is you should visit your dentist regularly, that is once in 6 months for general checkup.
Thank you for these amazing facts about teeth.
Thank you, Trishan.
This was my mother, Dr. Lakshmi Priya, dentist, talking about dentistry and tooth. Thank you for watching my interview. Bye.
Hi, I'm S. Priyalakshana of 9B. I'm going to interview my aunt. She is my best friend and a strong woman. Hello.
Hi Rakshu,
Tell something about yourself.
I'm Raji Saravanan and I hope I'm a good mother and a daughter and a good wife, and I've completed my post-graduation in maths and I'm working in BNP Paribas.
What are your biggest strengths?
My biggest strengths is first my family and then my willpower, and then it will be my thought on the equality between men and women.
Your weakness?
My weakness is again my family, because I'm a very emotional person. So if anybody is sick in my family, then I'm at loss. So my weakness is my family.
What are your hobbies?
Um, Primarily it will be cooking, because I love to cook for my kids. I see YouTube and cook new things, and it will be reading and listening to music.
Where do you see yourself in next 5 years?
I'm basically not a future planner, but I think my future will be bright and more secure in next 5 years.
Tell me about our family.
Okay, so we are a joint family. So I have my mother-in-law with me, and my husband has 3 sisters. Each of us have 1 kid. All of them are girls, and it's totally girl power at home.
Why you like your family?
So when I was a child, I was the most pampered kid at my home. But later on, my sister got married, and I was young, very young at that time. So it was a rough time between me and my dad. And after that, my mom got really sick. So I used to stay in other people's house, basically to actually go to school and all that. So I kind of felt very lonely, and I wanted a big family. So I got married into a bigger family, and my husband has 3 sisters, so it's like a big joint happy family.
What makes you proud of your family?
There are 2 main things. First will be the family bonding, and the second will be unity. So every day we have this video calls between us, and then they make sure that every weekend they kind of come home and we all meet and go out together. So it's a happy, jolly family.
List any 2 pet peeves.
First, it will be people actually who kind of talk in different languages to other person, and when he doesn't understand it, especially. Main one being my father, and the second one would be micromanagement, because I don't like people too much poking into other people's nose.
Your opinion on me?
My opinion on Rakshana is she is like my daughter, because my own daughter and her are of same age, and she's very talented and she dances and sings very well. So I wish for a very bright future for Rakshana.
Thank you for talking with me.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Good morning, one and all. I'm R. Pranati from class 7. Although we all know education is a basic necessity of a human life, in this fast-moving world, it is very essential for everyone to equip themselves in many ways other than just sticking to education. Having a broad spectrum creates us more opportunities and makes our life colorful. For today's Literacy Fest Celebrity interview, I would like to invite an artist who is also a psychologist. Let me introduce Mrs. Priyambata Sastry Jain, a renowned All India Grade B high-level violinist, Shishya of legendary Padma Shri Kanyakumari Amma. Hi ma'am, welcome, and many thanks for sparing your time with me.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure, Pranati.
Shall I shoot my questions now?
Yes, go ahead.
My first question. Since when have you been learning this art and what inspired you into this?
So I started playing the instrument on my own. I was only about 6 years old when all this started, because I was never pushed all by myself into this art. It was my sister that started playing the instrument. She's about 5 years older than me, so she started off playing the instrument. Then, because of some reasons, she had to discontinue the art, and there was this violin that was always lying around. So I was very curious to play the instrument. So once in a while, I'll just go up, I'll just pick the violin up from the loft, I'll play on my own. I was very curious as such. Then my parents figured that I had this interest. Then they sort of, gradually pushed me into it when I was 9 or 10 years old. And from then on, my formal training began. So that's how I was initiated into violin.
So you would have devoted many hours in practicing violin along with studies. Have you ever feel that you have missed your childhood or your college days? How did you strike a balance?
See, it was definitely very challenging. I'm not going to deny that. But I certainly did not miss my childhood, because my parents were very particular that I should learn an art. They weren't particular about learning music or learning dance or anything like that. They were very particular about learning some art form. It could be painting, it could be dance, it could be vocal music, instrumental music. They kept the cards open. But since I had this interest, in playing the instrument, I went along with it. And most of my weekends, I used to spend the time with my teachers. And thankfully, my teachers were literally next door. So I used to go up, I'd play with them. And all my Sundays, I remember, I would go at 7 a.m. and I would come back only around 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon. I'd be super tired, but I just, felt that jive of playing the instrument. I think that's what music does to you. But it certainly, was the best part of my childhood, because I will never get that time. Right now, as an adult, you have to juggle with so many things. You don't have enough time. But as a child, you are just exposed to it. You just play because your parents ask you to. There's good motivation from teachers. You just do it. So I really did not miss any part of my childhood.
Well, music is a cure. Being a musician yourself, how did it help you in various aspects of life, and how does learning an art can enhance oneself?
So, music is definitely a cure. There's no doubt in that. Whenever you feel low, music sort of, uplifts your mood. And whenever you feel energetic and peppy, you listen to a song that's all upbeat, and you tap your foot to it. And that's very similar to a musician too. But just that you are more critical when you're a musician. You end up analyzing more, and you end up. And since I have a degree in psychology, it helped me connect the dots better. Why certain music lifts your mind, and why certain music makes you feel the pathos and the soberness. And that is a very interesting perspective about music. And that really helps when you're a musician, and when you have a degree in human behavior, you can always correlate both.
Sounds interesting. Usually, when students reach 9th or 10th grade, parents insist them to quit everything and just focus on study. Did you also quit your violin during your board exams? How did your parents help you?
Oh, I must tell you this. My mom is a taskmaster. Okay, and if I never practiced, she would never give me food. Simple. So before dinner is usually our practice time. So like I said, my time would be allocated in such a way that every hour is well spent. So my mom would give me this hardcore timetable, regimental timetable, and I had to follow that. There's no way I could argue saying, I'm sorry, I have this, I have to, no iPad, nothing, no mobile phone. I had my first mobile phone when I was in college. So forget about iPads or anything. So my entire focus was driven by my parents until I had the maturity to decide what I want, which was much, much later. But so my mom would make me practice, very strict. She had this plan of what to practice, when to practice, how to practice. She'd point out the littlest of errors and everything. So when I came to 10th grade, I told her, oh, you know what, it's going to be very difficult, Amma. I don't know what I'm going to do. Too many things going on. She said, you eat food, right? You breathe air. You have water. This is all normal part of your life. And so is music. You can't let it go. And believe it or not, that really helped, because when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's a lot of monotony, right? And you get tired very easily, and you just want to do something else. Now you are iPad generation, you just play, and your parents, probably be like, okay, fine, no problem. But never was the case. So they were like, okay, you're bored of studies, okay, do this activity. So when you went back to studies, you actually concentrated better. And if I had vocal music, I would do vocal music for an hour, come back to studies. So that also helped me improve my concentration and everything. So no, nothing, no compromise in skills at all when it came to 10th grade, 12th grade, anything. And I even remember taking my books to, all the music concerts, because this half yearly exam will come exactly around the time of December Music Festival. Very painful, but my parents would always pack some fruits, they will pack all my books, and they'll say, okay, music is important. You listen, you also study at the same time, you can develop both. And it did help us. So no compromise with anything.
Your parents are indeed an example. Finally, from your experience, what would you like to say to parents and students who are willing to take up something extra along with studies?
Definitely, it's a must. In today's generation, just having a mere desk job is not going to be enough. and that won't lead you anywhere. You should have an ambition and you should go towards that. And parents should definitely take the effort, because children are not easy, because disciplining our generation was much easier. Little distraction, probably somebody calling us to play was the only distraction back then, but now you have several gadgets to distract you. So parents must definitely take the effort to drill them, to beat them once in a while. It's okay, disciplining them is important, so positive reinforcement is very important. And as children, it's also important that you cooperate and you also work hard. uh, since I am a teacher now, I have a lot of high school students that are in the US that say, "Oh, I'm doing this, that. I have too much on my plate." I keep saying this. This is just the trailer picture. Abhi baki hai mere dost. So you still have the entire life left, right? So that is going to be very taxing, very pressurizing. But you have to take the effort. You have to work hard. Prioritize your schedule, and also it's important that you develop a good skill, and you should have a cushion to fall back upon. You just can't do the same thing again and again. I know a lot of people that do 9 to 5 jobs, and they're like, "Oh, I don't find an end point to it." So music or any sport will be that cushion to give you that support, and that gives you that enforcement in life. And 99.99% or 100%, you can take it for granted that it is going to be a positive reinforcement. But please do it, both parents and teachers, and children. It's like a mutual cooperation, coordination, everything. So yeah, that would be my your takeaway probably.
Yeah, this time has been a great eye opener for me. I can understand that at the right time we need to sacrifice hard work, plan the time to achieve success. So I think this interview would be very useful for parents and kids who are watching. Thank you for sparing your time. Thank you once again.
Absolutely, and best wishes to you. And I hope you take it in the right way and right sense. And yeah, stay safe.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hello everyone, I am Rohan from AB Saram Vidyaya. Today I am going to have a one-on-one interview with a celebrity, the author of the book Velvet Crimes. This book was written in Tamil by the king of thriller novels, Mr. Rajesh Kumar, and translated by Mr. Suresh Dandapani, and here he is. Hi Dad, thanks for your time. Everyone knows you as my father and as an IT employee, but only few aware that you are a writer. I would like to know how and when did you start writing?
Okay, so basically, it was in 2008. I haven't written anything on my own, and I heard something about blogging, and I have seen people, my friends, writing blogs, and I started with blogs.
Did you say blog? What is a blog?
Good question. A blog is an article. I would say it's an article, kind of article. You can write about anything you want, starting from your travel experience, about any product, or about your experience. You can narrate whatever you want. So I started my first blog with my first flight trip to United Kingdom. So that is what I wrote, and got a very good response from the readers. People said I had to keep writing, and to be more specific, I have even written about you.
Oh, really? I would have loved to read that sometime. Then, how did the idea of translating stories came to your mind?
Okay, so I have been writing blogs for years, a number of blogs, I should say, and about everything. I have written something about the television that I have seen in my olden days, and I like funnier part. I mean, I like humor. So I wrote half of my blogs or humorous blogs. And finally, what happened was I ran out of ideas. That's when I was talking with my friend for a cup of coffee, we were discussing that I have not been writing. They were complaining that I have not been writing for a very long time. So as we both were, the topic came to Rajesh Kumar novels. We both were great fan of Rajesh Kumar novels, and Rajesh Kumar is one of my family friend. And he gave an idea. Why can't I do the translation of his stories in English? Because it's one of the most underrated novels of the modern world. and he has been doing that for years. So that's how it started. So that's when I started writing Rajesh Kumar novels, translating Rajesh Kumar novels from Tamil to English.
That's interesting. Who do you consider as your inspiration?
Okay, so when you say inspiration, I don't when I haven't read much of English novels before, and I started it in my own style. But so if I read any of the other writer's story, I thought I would have that impact or that style of writing, and I didn't want to follow those styles. So I had my own way of narrating it, imagining things in my mind. So I would say I don't have any specific inspiration as such, and the real inspiration is about how people react to my stories.
I know you enjoy writing, but what makes you write more?
The first couple of stories that I wrote were not that great in narration, and I had to change my style of writing so that it's in my comfort zone. For instance, I had my own words that I have been using. Instead of translating word by word, I used my way of narrating the stories. So that had a very good feedback, and I started improving slowly from one story to the other.
That is good to know. How many books have you translated or written so far?
I would say it is around 13 to 14 books so far.
Okay, Dad. How do you pick the stories?
Okay. So the very first story was selected by Rajesh Kumar by himself, and I picked another story which is very suitable for the modern time. And so I picked up a story which is based on a aeroplane, and people are getting hijacked. And the next story, I want to make it really different than the original one. So I want to make sure that I am not writing the same kind of stories in the next couple of stories. Yeah. So I would make sure that it follows a different genre as such.
What are the challenges you faced while translating these stories?
Okay, so basically, when the author, the original authors, or any author, when they write any Tamil stories, they use multiple slangs. And for example, Tamil that is spoken by an IT employee would be different from the Tamil that is spoken by an auto rickshaw driver, or anybody from North Chennai, or anybody from a village. So that is the key challenge that I faced. It is really very hard to translate that into English language. So that is one of the language, but I had to do it in my own style.
What advice would you give to young students like me if you want to become a writer?
That's a very good question. So I would say that the kids or students right now are more focusing on televisions and series, OTT, and mobile phones, etc. I would say that they should start reading books, not just the normal books. It is the real. It can be anything. It can be stories, or it can be of any kind. All you have to have the reading as a habit as such. Only then your knowledge will grow, and you will learn new vocabularies. You will learn a lot of other cultures, etc. So that reading you have to make that reading as a habit. One student has to read at least 10 pages per day, which is more than 100 books per year.
Thanks a lot, Dad. You have covered almost all the questions that I wanted to ask you. And as you said, it is important for us to read a lot of books. You would definitely do that. I hope you would have enjoyed this interview. Thanks a lot.
Hi everyone, I'm Krishnamurthy. I'm studying 8th grade D section. This is one-on-one communication interview, and I'm interviewing my own class teacher, Mrs. Sunita Ambika. How are you today, ma'am?
Fine, dear.
Yes, ma'am. The first and basic question I want to ask you is, why did you decide to become a teacher?
Teacher, yes. From my childhood, my main aim is to become a teacher. So when we were studying in 6th and 7th standard, in Children's Day, we used to act like a teacher. So everybody, for all subject teachers, will imitate teachers on that day. So we'll enjoy a lot. We used to wear saris and act like a teacher. We used to beat the students. So we'll have fun at that time. So that made me inspired. Even coming to home also, I used to act like a teacher. So I used to take stick and chalk piece and I write on the board. It continued like that. So that made me inspired. It was very inspired to me. From that day, I decided that I want to become a teacher.
Wow, a really amazing inspiration, ma'am. So practically, while you are thinking of a classroom, there are students who are naughty and some students are good at studies. So what is your teaching philosophy, ma'am, so that they can both get attracted to you?
So this age group, mainly if you see, students get distracted more easily. So we teachers have to be patient, that we have to bring the students in our own way, like in which field they are interested, why they were becoming like that, what gets distracted to them. That main part from the parent side as well as from the teacher's side, we have to inquire them. So we have to be more encouraged to that particular type of students. So that psychology, the teachers or parents, we have to understand what is the child's problem. So that we have to bring them so that students automatically, definitely they will come in our own way.
Wow, an innovative answer, ma'am. Ma'am, there are in many people's achievements, there is a person, there is a role model in their life. So who is your role model, ma'am?
Definitely, that role model belongs to my parents only, because actually when I was studying in Andhra Pradesh, I don't know Telugu, how to read and write. Even my mother also, she don't know. So she goes to my auntie's house and she used to write that word in Malayalam and she used to teach me. Actually before that I used to get less marks in Tamil. Actually third language is Telugu there. But my mother, she used to write in Malayalam language and she used to teach me that. She don't know Telugu that time. So she taught me like that, and after that I pick up that. After that I used to score in Telugu highest marks. My teachers, they were shocked. So definitely like that. So not only that, she encouraged me a lot. My father and mother, definitely in all, apart from studies, they encouraged me a lot in extracurricular activities, even Rangoli competition. In all the aspects, they encouraged me a lot. So definitely that credit goes to my parents.
Wow, really very amazing inspiration, because in my life also my parents are my role model, because they started my dream and
Yes.
I am now here in this interview because my parents encouraged me to attend this interview.
Yes, very good.
So the next question is, what is your favorite subject to teach the students and why?
My favorite subject is Hindi actually. When I used to study in 5th standard, my Hindi teacher, I like her very much. She used to teach that Hindi subject in Telugu, English and Hindi also. So in 3 different papers, she used to write and come in all the 3 languages. She used to teach that. So it was very interesting. That Hindi period, all my friends, they are very enthusiastic to listen that. So actually that my favorite subject I used to say, but definitely Hindi, and from my childhood day I used to watch Hindi films a lot. So by seeing that more films, and I used to watch Hindi channels a lot, from that I have learned Hindi, spoken Hindi and writing, that and all I have learned by seeing that. So I like Hindi very much, and maths also, and now science subject also. So all the 3 subjects are my favorite subjects.
Wow, really amazing, man. So in this interview, I practically analyzed your skills, your innovative and your patience towards the students. So you know where to pressurize the students and where not to pressurize. So it's been a nice experience interviewing you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good evening everyone, I am Sarvesh. Today I have came to interview my celebrity. First question, how was your family when you were young?
Good evening. So, my family was a lower middle class family, and I born with 3 siblings. Okay, so we used to live in a small town. Yeah.
How was your school days and what were your hobbies at that time?
So my school days were in the small town itself. I studied from first standard to 12th standard in the same town, and during my school days I am friendly with every students, and I am very obedient to my teachers, parents. So also my hobbies are Actually, we used to play with the street friends, school friends, and used to do play cricket. And we used to do get books from the library and spend some times on the books because we don't have any gadgets at the time. So we have a lot of time to spend with friends and books.
How did you prepare for your board exams and what were your marks?
Yeah, during the public exam, I used to do get up early in the morning, at least at 5 o'clock. Okay, every day I have to spend 2 hours for study because I have to help my home as well. So I don't have much time during the day, so I used to get in the early morning and regularly study at least 2 hours. That's how I did for public exam. So 10th exam I did scoring 431 out of 500. During my 12th exam, I did 990 out of 1200 marks.
Okay. How was your college life and what were the degrees you have obtained?
Yeah, my college days was definitely everybody's it's a interested life during the college, to me as well. But during the first year only, I had some fear in my mind because it was the very first time I am away from the camp. I was away from the family. Um, but the next year onwards, I used to enjoy the college days. So during my college days, I never had a arrear and I did my degree well in first class and completed degree in good shape.
What were the things which makes you feel proud?
Yeah, so my degree itself, because I am the only graduate from my family and first graduate as well as the only graduate in my family. Not because of other people's other kids are not enough to study, but they are also good students. But because of the financial situation, they are not able to study further. Whereas my engineering study has been sponsored by my uncle. So.
Good morning to all. My name is Adafia. I am studying class 7th C from Sairam Vidyalaya Senior Secondary School. I am going to take one-on-one interview on my brother as my celebrity.
Hello guys, good evening. I am going to take interview for my brother as my celebrity. The topic is how was his journey of first public exam. So let us call him. Good morning, good evening Nishad Hussain. Take your seat please.
Thank you.
So I have some questions about your first public exam.
Yes.
I hope that you will answer to my question.
Yeah, fine.
Yes. Let me start.
Okay, start.
Okay. The first question is how was the journey of your first public exam?
It was a very good occasion. We studied more. We learned more, and we are the first time of the public exam which we wrote as MCQs.
Okay.
We are the first batch of our school by writing the MCQs, and it was a good journey.
Yes.
Our miss taught more lessons, more tests, more subjects, and more subject was very useful, and it was a good.
Okay, good. I like your answers. Okay, we can go to next question. What is your ambition from your childhood?
Ambition. It was not more stable. It will always change and change and change.
Yes.
But I have one thought from my childhood is being a doctor.
Oh, good.
But more than a doctor, I need to be an athlete.
Good. It's good. Okay. If the public exam is tough for you?
No, it can't be say tough. It was very easy, but we are not. But our thoughts didn't reach it. It was very easy, but only the science paper and SST paper was somewhat tough. And the English paper was good, and Tamil paper and Maths paper was very easy.
Okay. Okay, next question. It was good answer from you, I thought. Okay, next question. How much time you will spend for studying?
Usually I don't study more times, and my mother is not satisfied with whatever I'm reading time. I mostly read from after I come school by 3:30, and I will start my reading by 4:15. I will refresh and start by 4:15. And I study till 10:30.
Okay.
In middle, it more gaps and dinner times it will exclude. And morning, I will start reading in 4:30 and I end it by 7 o'clock, and I prepare for my school.
Okay, it was a good answer from you. I thought that you will give me good answer. Okay, I bless that you will take more marks and good marks in next public exam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, doctor. This is Sai Jaspita Kajala. I'm studying in Sairam Vidyalaya School and I'm from 8th standard D section. Hope I'm audible and visible to you.
I mean, visible, auditory, audible, somewhat not clear.
Okay,
No
sir.
problem, I can manage.
Okay, sir.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. You're audible.
Okay, fine. Fine, continue.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity for interviewing, sir. This is a really great opportunity of learning how great you are, what your achievements are. I heard you make so many donations, and can you please tell me the steps of your hard work, sir?
I can't follow the question.
Please tell me the steps of your hard work, sir.
Yeah, Kali, Amma, as a doctor, we can cure many diseases. We can treat any patient. So, as a doctor, we can give good relief to the patients by way of removing their pain. And really, we can save lives. Many times we have saved, even I have saved many thousands of lives. So, as a doctor, we have got that good opportunity to save people from their sufferings, and we can save their lives also, Pali. Amma, Jaspita. And the society and the patient's family will be thankful to us.
Yes, sir. Yeah. In India, God is doctor is treated as God, right?
Yeah, my two children are doctors.
Yes, sir. In India, doctors are called gods, right? Like in India, doctors are treated like gods.
Yeah, really, many people will say, "You are God, you are God." Really,
and doctors are really
that is
lucky to be in that position. They're worth it, right? Their hard work and everything.
Really, that one word is there. One word will do for our full satisfaction. Doctor, you are God. Really, Jacinta, really, Jaspita, really, we get that honor.
So, what is your inspiration of becoming a doctor, sir? Who is your inspiration?
Who is my inspiring?
Who is your inspiring person, sir? Whom did you take as inspiration, and what is the motive behind you becoming a doctor?
Ali, in my young age, I have seen many people suffering with many kinds of diseases. Of course, those days diseases also are less, but whoever get disease, they will be suffering because those days medical facilities are very few. Few doctors are few, and this kind of equipment and facilities are not available. So people used to die also with the suffering. So even my grandmother also, my maternal grandmother also, she had cancer. She also suffered a lot and died. So those days, after seeing some people, then I decided to become a doctor like that. And the respect that is getting, as you said, is hard. So better, why don't I become a doctor, I thought. So I decided to take this profession.
So how much hard did you work to become a doctor, sir? How much hard did you work to become a doctor?
How much?
How much hard did you work to become a doctor, sir?
We should do hard work. We should do hard work. The secret of success is hard work only. But at the same time, don't go on studying. No, you should have a recreation also. You should play. You should enjoy with the parents. You should enjoy with friends, and like that. You can utilize your time like that. But you can spend your time 1 hour, 1.5 hours like that for for parents, and we will get patients for anything, and for friends, parents, and meditation, sports like that. You can spend 1 hour or 2, and the remaining thing you sleep happily for 6 hours or 7 hours. Remaining thing, please read, and study well.
Okay, doctor. As a child, how
And
much did you study for each day to become a successful
one should be
doctor?
regular in studies. One should be regular in studies. Huh? As I told you just now, I used to spend some time for sports, some time for friends, and some time with family members. And the remaining time I used to read only.
What was your favorite
Not
subject
necessarily
in school as a child?
in school.
What was your favorite subject, sir, in school as a child?
Oh, favorite subjects. I love all subjects. I love all subjects. No favorite subjects. All subjects are favor. Because you see, in our life, which disease you treat means, no, as a family physician, I will treat all the patients. I will treat all the diseases. So nowadays, of course, there are specialties. Eye doctor is there, ear doctor is there, nose doctor is there, like that. In our days, even now also, as a family doctor, I am seeing, and even now I am seeing all the cases. So no favorite subjects. All subjects are favorites to me.
Usually, children in this generation are really afraid of mathematics. Were you afraid of mathematics in your childhood, sir?
Pardon?
The children in this generation are really afraid of mathematics. They're scared and they get nervous when they have mathematics exam.
In my school regular studies, I mean, with science, social, and like that. In arts and science college also, pre-university course we used to say. There also science subjects I took. I was first in the high school.
Wow.
I was first in my college also. That is now we call as a 12th class. I was
That's
first.
really great.
There, first class, I mean, first rank, not first class. First rank only. First rank only in the college and school also. Then I got, those days we don't have these MSET and NEET. Those days we don't have. With we used to call as pre-university course. That means 1 year, 12th class, 1 year, pre-university course. With those marks, I got medical college seat. Our college is a prestigious college, Guntur Medical College, Guntur, a prestigious college.
That college, that is my dream college, sir. I even want to get enrolled in that.
Yes.
I also want to get enrolled in that. As I did not mention earlier, I'm mentioning now, my ambition is to become a successful doctor like you. I want to become a cardiologist.
Good. After completing MBBS, opt for cardiology.
Yes, sir. And my dream college is your college, Guntur Medical College. Guntur is my hometown, so I have some special affection with that area.
I can't get.
Guntur is actually my hometown, so I have some affection in that area. I like that area a lot.
Guntur Medical College, a beautiful college, very best college, good faculty, a beautiful college.
Yes, doctor. Now also it's the top leading colleges in India, right? Guntur Medical College.
In Guntur Medical College?
In India, Guntur Medical College is the top leading college, right?
Yeah, teaching college. It's a teaching college and 1,000-bedded hospital we have. Very famous in 60s, from 50s and 60s itself. Oh, that is, I mean, from 60, 70 years. It's a good college, famous college.
So what is your message for students, sir? Like NEET aspirants, there are NEET aspirants, right? Currently, and students need to crack NEET to become doctors. So many NEET aspirants are not able to crack NEET. What are your tips, sir?
Oh, you want me to say tips?
Yes, sir. I'll type the message. You can view that.
I can't get you, Amma. Not audible.
Sir, please give some tips to crack the NEET examination, sir. Am I audible now?
Yeah. Amma, because due to NEET examination, it is a countrywide examination. You will have a number of seats. So you can get admission in any college, anywhere in India. So always a hard work student, a talented student can get ample of chances to get seat in any college. So you people, people like you, they will be selected in any college. You are smart, so you will get college seat in any college.
Sir, what is your message to NEET aspirants? This generation kids, what is your message to NEET aspirants and the generation kids right now?
What is my?
Please convey a message to NEET aspirants, sir. The current generation's NEET aspirants. Am I audible and clear?
I can't get.
Sir, please deliver
What
a
is
message.
my?
Please deliver a message to NEET aspirants and the kids in the current generation.
Oh, for the current generation. Okay, fine, Tali. Amma, read the textbooks thoroughly. That's more important. Amma, rather than thinking of luck and this and that, read the textbooks thoroughly and attend number of examinations. Whichever examination the college will conduct, attend the number of attend all the examinations, and even other colleges and other universities also, they will be conducting sometimes examinations. So those also attend. Any number of examinations you attend, you will become more perfect, and you will not have any tension during NEET actual exam. So attend number of examinations, read textbooks only, and take the help of teachers, take the help of friends, and always your family members will guide you. And most importantly, seniors who have passed, who got ranks and who got medical seats, take their help. They are better people to guide. So you should be smart in answering the examination also, because you will be having 180 questions and 180 minutes. So you should be smart. There should not be any mistake, because even a mistake also carries a negative mark. So you should be smart and active. That's all.
What is the correct time for preparing for NEET, sir?
What is?
When should we start the coaching for NEET examination?
I can't get.
What is the correct time to start the coaching for NEET examination, sir?
NEET examination timing, sir?
No, sir. Coaching. What is the correct age, appropriate age to start the coaching?
Oh, fine, Tali. Amma, it is always better to start from 8th class itself. Yours is the right time. Better to, now itself you aim for NEET examination, now itself you aim for a medical seat. Then it will be very, very easy. Of course, last 1 year also is enough, but it's not somewhat difficult. So, if you start from now onwards, from 8th class itself, it will be very easy. You can get seat very easily, and you can get even less than 100 ranks or less than 10 ranks also. So start from now itself.
Okay, sir. You give lot of donations and charities, right?
Myself?
You donate to lot of people. You donate for lot of charities.
Yeah, charity.
Yes, sir.
I
You
didn't get.
donate for charities, right? What is the motive behind donation and everything, sir?
Motive behind?
Donating to people, donating to temples. I heard you're really good in donations and charities.
Yeah. I will be donating for charity, Amma, only to help the poor class people. And even education-wise also I will be helping. Even even you know, and mom knows and dad knows also, Gayatri Ashram and high school,
Yes,
water tank. So those things are there. Amma, really, your mom is doing a lot for Gayatri Ashram. So Gayatri Mata will bless you. And you see, your dad also, whenever he comes to Nadigada, our village, he comes with a laptop and he will be working from there itself. So anywhere, the secret of success is hard work. You see, your dad will come with the laptop and he will work there and go, Chennai, and there also he work there, like that. So the secret of success is hard work only. And Gayatri Mata will help you because
Thank
you
you
are
so
in you are the great devotees of Gayatri Mata.
Thank you so much.
Tali. And I one more thing, I welcome you to the medical profession.
Thank you,
Because
sir.
medical profession is a very decent and it is a respectable profession, and you can save many lives. And another thing, selfishness. You can treat me also after 10 years.
For sure.
After 10 years, I will be 80 years, and you will be a doctor, qualified doctor. You can treat me also. And it is a noble profession. It is a challenging profession because there you are dealing with lives. Doctors are dealing with lives. So challenging and a noble profession. So welcome to this noble profession, medical profession, Talli. Jaspita.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
for
Talli.
your
Thank you.
precious time and thank you for giving this interview, sir. I thank my school for giving the opportunity also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have given me the opportunity to tell you.
Thank you
I
for
am
saving so
lucky.
many lives and thank you for giving such an inspiration to NEET aspirants and students in this generation, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, Talli. Nice of you, nice of you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Talli. Good night, Talli. Good night, Jaspita.
Good night, sir.
Good night, good night.